everyone. Thanks for joining. This is Jessica, and we have the verdict out for the Michigan school shooter's mom. Ethan Crumbley, back in, was it 1 or 2 years ago, shot the school in Michigan where he killed four of his classmates. And the mom and the dad were arrested. And the mom just had a trial. She was accused of involuntary manslaughter for not doing anything to stop her kid from shooting. And the verdict just came out today. And so let's check it out, you guys. Okay, here we go.
Involuntary manslaughter. On count 2 of involuntary manslaughter in regards to Tate Muir, we find the defendant guilty of involuntary manslaughter. On count 3, as to involuntary manslaughter regarding Hannah St. Juliana, we find the defendant guilty of involuntary manslaughter. And in count 4 of involuntary manslaughter against Justin Schilling, we find the defendant guilty of involuntary manslaughter.
Wow, what a wake up call. What a wake up call. So apparently this is the first time in history of the United States where a parent is actually charged for the crime that the kid committed. In this case, she was charged with manslaughter and just found guilty. And it's a scary idea, and that's what her defense attorney was trying to relay to the jury, was like, there's a lot of hardworking parents out there doing the best they can, and that they shouldn't be responsible for like the actions of their children, right? um, and that's true. There are a lot of parents that are doing their best, and you can't blame them if their child commits crime sometimes, because sometimes parents do have psychopath children. And some parents do everything that they need to do to help their child, and still, the kid might commit a crime, a murder like this, and should the parents be responsible? So yeah, it's a scary idea for any parent out there to think that their child can do something and then you're going to be responsible for it. But this is unique. This is a different case because even though Jennifer Crumbley's attorney she took the stand, right? And she tried to say that the reason she didn't seek medical attention for her son, like mental health attention, was because she really didn't think he had issues. She thought everything was really fine. She was downplaying the kid, basically. And so she didn't think that he would do something like this. And this is the reason why they bought a 13-year-old a gun, because they didn't think he was going to do this. Even though there was a lot of indications that this kid was screaming for attention, had mental issues, and it was obvious that the parents in the situation were not paying attention to him. The parents in the situation were too self-absorbed and too busy with their own lives to pay attention to the needs and wants of their children. And the problem with that is that as a society, once you become a parent, it is no longer about you. You are no longer number one. You are not the priority. It's not that you're not important, you're just not the priority. It's the child. So, society as a whole, I would assume, accepts the notion that once you're a parent, the priority is on the child. And here, the state was able to prove that this mother was not uh, being a parent that was putting their child first. This parent was dismissing their child's needs. This parent was just taking everything very lightly. And the worst part, and yes, they brought this up during trial, apparently the parents were too busy swinging and having extramarital affairs. The mom was busy hooking up with men and swingers, and she was on adult, swinging sites. And I'm not criticizing her for that. Like, if she wants to swing and have sex parties and cheat on her husband, that's on her. That's on her conscience. I'm not going to judge her for her whatever, for her sex capades. I don't care. But I do care when you are so absorbed in your extramarital affairs and your swinging parties that you're literally ignoring your child when he is screaming for help. And what really I think most of us just cannot accept anymore in this country, in the United States of America, whenever you hear ever that a child is talking about shooting or killing, it's almost like we've been through this so much that there's no way in hell that you're going to think, oh, I didn't think he was going to do anything. No, in America, in the US of A, if your child, friend, neighbor, whatever, if a child, a teenager is talking about shooting up people or is talking about voices that's telling them or him or her to hurt somebody, you have to stop and pay attention because it's a real thing in this country. Maybe if they were in a different country where there's no guns and stuff, maybe you could say, well, I didn't think it was going to be anything. But here in America, guns are illegal. People can buy guns. And apparently, the dad bought this kid a gun for his birthday. And yes, he's 13 and did not keep the lock and key. There is so much evidence here of negligence from both parents because they were so busy doing themselves, doing their own lives. And I don't feel sorry for the kid. I feel more sorry for the four children, the four teenagers that are dead. I feel more sorry for those parents and those families. And don't get me wrong, and I think he deserves his punishment. Ethan Crumbley, he didn't even go to trial. He just went guilty. He recognized his error. But I kind of feel bad for the kid because at 13, he's screaming and yelling for attention. He needs something. And at the end of the day, this was the only way he figured he would get the attention. And he did get the attention, but it was the wrong attention. So I kind of feel sorry for the kid because he was misguided and his parents failed him. So she's found guilty. And you know what? I agree just based on what she didn't do and instead what she was doing. I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you think it's justice that the mother was convicted of manslaughter? Or do you think that this is not fair? That there's just no way, even though the mom was swinging, even though the child was asking for help, even though the parents didn't give a crap to take their son to therapy or even take him out of school that day. Now, this is also where it gets really crazy. That day, the day of the shooting, the parents were called into the school because they found a drawing that was depicting, the gun and like violence and shooting kids. Now, he had the gun, but nobody found the gun in the backpack. I don't know. I can't remember if they did search the backpack and they just didn't find the gun or they just didn't search the backpack. I believe they didn't search it because they had no knowledge about the gun. Now, the parents had knowledge that this kid had a gun because they gave it to him. So the day of the shooting, when the school calls the parents in to this meeting and they want them to take their son right away to get some help, they knew they knew the kid had a gun. Okay. And they are talking to the principal or teacher, the school administrators, and they are seeing the drawing of the son with the gun and all the violent stuff that he's writing. And still, these two dimwit parents didn't think that, oh, wait, you know what? Maybe this is serious. They didn't think, number one, oh, I live in the United States in America where shooting up schools is an epidemic. My kid has a gun. The parents, the gun is unlocked. But no, they were so much more worried about not missing work, about the money, about doing their own thing. And they left their kid in school and then he went ahead and shot That was the opportunity for the parents. That was the ultimate call of this child to like look at me. I need help. And the parents just were like, F you. We can't do it right now. Just without saying it with words, but almost like you're not important to us. You're not that important to us to take time off of work, which apparently they could have. I mean, what, you can't just take half a day? You can't take half a day and take your kid to the doctor that day. Just an emergency, situation where you have the parents had all of the information. The school only had part of the information. And so this is why I feel that the parents were responsible, because they had all the information and they had very important information that the school would have been interested in. If the school knew the kid had a gun, that, as a gift, that the kid had received a gun, maybe they would have really looked for that gun, or maybe the school would have been like, no, you cannot leave him, he needs to go. It would have been a forced expulsion of the kid rather than an option to the parents. So I think the jury got it right, because it was so obvious that these parents neglected this child. And in their neglect, it wasn't the child's responsibility. He's in jail. He's in jail for life. So he's fucked. He's fucked. Sorry. But it was the parents. The society expects the parents to have taken care of their kid, and because of the parents just disregard for their child's well-being, four other kids got hurt. They're dead. So you know what? Yeah, she deserved it. She deserved it. And I hope the husband, it happens the same. You can't have kids. You can't decide to be a parent and have kids and then ignore your children and give them guns. What do you guys think? Do you think this is fair? Do you think it's unfair? I would really love to know your comments, your thoughts, and your ideas. If you don't mind letting me know also what generation you're at, I would really appreciate it. Thank you so much.